We're going to call the August 13th, 2026 regular city council meeting to order. If you wouldn't care to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll observe a short moment of silence, please. Roll call, please, Miss Penny.
Harrison. Here. Rachel Tatum. Thompson.
Yeah, here.
Martin.
Here.
Jeff Tatum. Lowe.
Here.
Ishmael.
Here.
Roland. Here. Mayor, clerk in attendance, and attorney in attendance.
Right. Any public comments on the agenda items? Everybody had a minute to look over the July 9th, 2026 minutes. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we accept the agenda and approve the minutes.
I have a question real quick, and it's something minor. On the executive session at the bottom, it says Mayor Rose personal. Is that supposed to say personnel?
Supposed to be personnel, yes.
Personnel, okay.
Spell check.
Sorry.
Yeah, AI predicted, didn't catch that one. So, you got a motion?
Second.
Motion to approve the minutes of the July 9th,
And accept.
2026, and to accept the agenda for tonight with the change of the executive session. Mayor Rose, instead of being personal, it'll be personnel. By Mr. Martin, seconded by Ms. Harrison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Oh, Ms. Clerk, would you care to read the correspondence? We've had a couple of this, actually three.
The first one is to Mayor Rose. Kim Alexander called and wanted the mayor and council to know what a great job Xylem, it's Xylem, is doing on the tree trimming under the electric lines. She said the workers are very nice and polite. She found out they are hired locally, so they take more pride in their work.
Mm-hmm.
The next two are actually from the Arkansas Municipal League. And there are two letters, one to Stephen Rose and one to me, Penny Trumpy, that we both have accepted positions as the league on the League Advisory Council for the city of the first class for 26 to 27. The Advisory Council brings together municipalities to discuss, share challenges, and provide guidance to legal staff, or to league staff and executive committee on services and policies the league should pursue. Meetings are held virtually and may be convened by the chair, president, or executive director at any 3 members of the advisory council. We both have accepted those positions. That's all the correspondence.
Oh, really? Had a minute to look over the financial report. We've been kind of lump that in with Miss Heather. If you want to do, Miss Harrison, you want to kind of go over the semi-annual 2026 annual budget report. I know you and Misty had been going over it today.
Yeah. I've got about 5 extra copies of this made Penny has, if anybody wants a copy of that, or she can make some copies, because I'm going to be throwing some information at you. The revenue overlook, sales tax, we have reached 49% of our projected budget amount. In both 2025 and 2024, the years have proved higher number of sales tax revenue the second half of the year, which means we're just even expected to get more July through December. So our projected number is tracking. Property tax revenue, we have received 56.5% of projected budget between Sharp and Fulton County properties. On interest, we have made a miscalculation. Interest has steadily gone down since last quarter of 2025. Unfortunately, we might be coming in $17,000 less than projected in budget. Current interest rate is 2.42%. Expenses summary, due to some data cleanup on the computers, a couple of departments, if you pulled up your financial packet and printed or looked at the computer on a certain day, sometimes you would see, for example, in administration, there was a miscellaneous expense of $45,334, but that is no longer there. It was a moment of they had to land it somewhere in the system to get it back out, and I happened to look at my financials while it was in there and freaked out a little bit because there was an extra $45,000 cost, but that's no longer there. I've just put those in my notes for council to see that. And a lot of this is just reminders of some of the stuff that's happened over the last 6 months as well. General fund reserve account, we did not budget anything for repair, maintenance, building expense, but we spent $29,465.41 on the plumbing, jetting, and repair for City Hall sewer. Animal control, salaries and payroll taxes are above 50%. Special event pay has exceeded its budget by $352.42. And repair and maintenance equipment has exceeded its budget by $124 due to a purchase of a used washing machine that was needed. Most all other expense line items for animal control are well below budget. Building and grounds has exceeded its budget on the video equipment and surveillance due to an approved camera system that did not get installed and billed until 2026. That's $2,321. And Building and Grounds has spent 95% of its capital expenditures budget on an approved purchase of a new mower that was $7,250 earlier in the year. Fire Department, salary expenses are below 50% of budget. Administrative expenses are below 50% of budget. And there was not a budgeted item for capital expenditures, but they have spent $70,930.63, and that all went towards what's listed. The tornado sign repair got done for $8,205. The approval of fire chief's truck, $49,223. The repair of Onaga garage door, $6,122. And plumbing issues at Wakita for $7,379. Planning and Zoning Department, if you look at your financial statement, the line item for revenue building permit says $39,900, but we only budgeted $21,000 for that. This is corrected, just letting you know if you happen to pull it up and it did that. P&Z's recording expenses exceeded its budget by $50. Other than that, the department is on track. Police Department, their repair and maintenance computer has exceeded its budget by $604. And in 2026, projected salaries, which is why we budgeted what we did, gave 10 employees an increase in salary between 4.5% up to 19.45%, in hopes to be more competitive with other neighboring police and retain employees. And I was just going to ask the police chief if we had accomplished that goal based on what we were trying to do.
I believe we've come close to it. Of course, when we run our budget, we place a few things, but I do believe that we are
More competitive and retaining our employees?
Yes.
Okay. Also for the Police Department, as of today, no talks have been made to council or budget committee in regards to adding vehicles to the fleet program, just as a note. Also, the police auxiliary financials are not in the August packet. Told Misty about that today, and she's working on why it's showing up on her computer, but it's not printing into the packet. Street Department, revenue from interest is at 92% of budget, so they are going to exceed what was projected for them. Capital expenditures for street that was not budgeted, $87,618, and in April of 2026, council approved purchase of 2 Massey Ferguson tractors, including parts and taxes, so that's what that number is under capital expenditures for them. And if you happen to see a miscellaneous expense for them for $21,000, that's no longer there. I talked to Joey this morning. For 2026 salaries, we budgeted in hopes for him to add a full-time team member, bringing a total to 4 full-time and 2 part-time. And he has added 1 full-time and he has lost 1 part-time. So his current status is 4 full-time, 1 part-time. He says they are making do, but keeping their eyes and ears open for part-time. Advertising and promotion department exceeded budget expectations on its carryover funds total and also on its firework donations collected this year was $6,781. And their marketing materials line item has exceeded its budget by $319. Do you want me to read all these balances of where we are today in our funds?
It's up to you if you want to.
Well, probably the most important, I would say, because the general fund, which is our day-to-day account, fluctuates all the time. But the big thing to know is that both our general fund reserve and our general checking and savings are both above $500,000. One has $502,061, one has $502,081. So that is something we've kind of worked on the last year to have those accounts above 500, and we did that. And probably just the other big number is street department's money market account as of today has $747,836.
Mr. Thompson said you had a question.
I've got a couple of questions. First of all, I'm concerned about the interest rate that's being paid by the local banks on the balances. If I just take the large balances and put that in play, essentially we're under where I thought we should be by about $2,300 a month. I mean, you're exceeding $27,000 a year of interest. So, I mean, I feel like I can comment on this because of what we are currently paying our business and individual retail clients on money market balances. So it gives me some concern, and I think we need to sit back down with the banks, local banks, because $2,300 a month doesn't sound like a lot of money, but added up over the years and over the year, and $27,000 is not something that should be ignored. So I think we need to go back to our local bankers and ask them if they could do better. The second question that I've got pertains to A&P, and there's a comment in there that they exceeded budget expectations on carryover funds total. I'm a little bit confused about that because I don't see actual numbers from A&P, but my understanding is after we went through the eclipse, not only did we burn through the entire carryover funds, but we exceeded that due to the eclipse, and so I'm a little confused as to how we exceeded budget expectations on carryover funds when we fully expended those reserves, the carryover from the previous year, and exceeded that quite a bit, so I'd like to have some additional details in that area, because I'm a little confused on that.
Well, what I can tell you from, just what I investigated myself, solar eclipse was in 2024, and so I'm talking about 2025's carryover funds at the end of the year. They projected, this is according to the budget that they hand the budget committee, they projected $20,000 carrying over from 2025 to 2026, and they carried over 30,837. So I chalk that up to they spent less than they anticipated in 2025, so they were starting 2026 with more money. I just put it out there as facts, and, well, I'm just saying that's where that statement came from.
No, and I appreciate that, and you provided the details. I'm sorry, I was unable to bring up the detail of the financial reports on the city website. I'm just having some technical difficulties here, so I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
Any more
That's it.
questions? Thank you, Miss Heather, for putting that together.
Thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, so that leads into the mayor's report. So, I don't know if everybody's noticed, but out in the, I think it's still in the lobby, isn't it, Miss Penny? The flag disposal?
Yes, the back.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, Miss Penny had come to me here, a couple of months ago now, and we talked about, we've had several people come in the office here and they asked where to take their torn and tattered flags, which, other than taking them to the, Elks or taking them to the county courthouse. So we purchased a flag box, and just to let everybody know, there was 16 torn and tattered flags that was turned in, actually it'd been this last month, wouldn't it? Yeah, this last month it was turned in that we're taking to the Highland Elks for their flags, to be disposed of in their flag ceremony in 2027. So just to let everybody know, if you have torn and tattered flags that need to be disposed of, we do have a disposal box here that we take out to the Elks, occasionally, so they can get, dispose of them in their flag ceremony. I know most everybody, I know it made the newspaper and on the website. We had a citizen sent a complaint about the Waste Connection, about our trash. I know they always seem to get, it's always a hotly contested item. I know they've changed up a lot of stuff by going to the side load trucks instead of the rear load trucks. And I know I'm working with Joey and trying to work out some things with Waste Connection, because the heavier trucks are, they're causing more damage to the streets, and also I know their stand on it is they had an employee get killed by being crushed by standing behind the truck. The truck got rear-ended and they had an employee get killed. So they're in a company-wide movement. They're moving away from rear-load trucks to side-load trucks. So that, according to what they told me, their stance at the company is that they're done. There are no more rear-load trucks. All new purchases are side-load trucks, because it's just entirely too dangerous to have employees standing behind trucks where they get rear-ended and get seriously injured or killed. And I also had them run off a copy of one of the issues that was brought up was they had raised the trash rate 4 times since the first of the year when we signed the contract with them. Well, I had them run off a copy of a bill in the village, and they went back to April of 23 to present. And in April of 2023, it shows that of course, this is all quarterly. We get paid. It's paid quarterly, $65.18 quarterly, of course, and that's quarterly including taxes. Equals to about $21.72 a month. And the 4 increases that we've had since 2023, I know it's $80.23 a quarter is what he was saying, which equals out to $26.74 a month, which is about $5-ish. I mean, you can do the math and get the exact number, but just $5.02 increase over the 4 years. And also to let the citizens in Cherokee know that and I actually didn't know this was because I don't live out in the rural of the county, but at this time our rate is $80.23. And he said if you're in the rural of the county outside the city limits, he said the minimum is $170 per quarter to $180 per quarter, depending on where you live and your tax rate where you live. So we're actually being charged, less than half of what the customers in the rural of the county are paying at this time. Yes, Mr. Thompson.
The other thing we probably ought to recognize is the fact that the trash collection firm was charging for a rental for their trash can previously. And now it's incorporated in your bill.
Yes,
So they stopped the rental charge. So part of the increase is due to the fact that they incorporated the rental charge into their quarterly rate.
Yeah, the totes, we don't, other customers of them also have to pay on top of that a tote rental. They don't call them garbage cans, they call them totes, but they pay a tote rental to where ours actually the tote, it's included into the quarterly subscription, the quarterly cost. So I mean, I have been trying to talk to them, and that's one of the things they talk about with the side loader trucks is, of course, they can't, you can't be close to mailboxes or posts or overhead obstacles such as trees or tree limbs or wires, because when the machine comes down and grabs, it's a pretty wide grab, and actually even my own personal thing, my own personal observations of my tote at the house, they're probably going to be going through lots of totes, because that grabber is pretty rough on totes, because they've already punched a hole through the side of my new tote. So, but anyway, I just let everybody know, I'm still working with them, we're talking, like I said, our street superintendent's getting me some pictures gathered up of street damage, and we're going to see, maybe they can get a lighter truck or a smaller truck, I know and we all know what it is, they're just they're going from 2-person trucks to 1-person trucks, so it's to save money too, and I understand the safety part of it, so just to let everybody know we're still working, and like I said, I did not know that until I started doing this research, because I don't live in the rural of the county, but in the rural of the county, they're charging between $170 and $180, so ours is $80, so it's, and one of the questions was, I know that was asked is why we didn't take competitive bids. Well, we did for it was 3 months, wasn't it? Well, we actually, because we were going to do it, and we extended it another 30 days just to see if we could get another one, so, we tried.
Mr. Mayor, the other comment was, that I had is that this council, working with you, also passed an ordinance for mandatory pickup. And I believe, and someone else can correct me on it, but prior to then, the trash collection company had to keep a list of those paying patrons. And so that slowed their drivers down. Now, if the can's out there on the road, then the assumption is that's a paying customer. They don't have to sit there and try to track and skip over some of those folks that were trying to get their trash collected. So that helped in our negotiations, if you remember, in keeping the rates down as low as they are. And I know we've had some increase, and I know everybody, that's an issue for a lot of citizens, but because we passed that ordinance to make it mandatory, they were able to keep their rates lower than what they otherwise would have. And I don't know, I'd have to ask, our road superintendent as to whether or not we've seen a decrease over the last few years in illegal dumping within the village. Because of the mandatory, I know our sister city, Ash Flat, realized less illegal dumping. I don't know to what extent we've seen that in our city.
Yeah, it's actually something, we've had an uptick of it quite a bit this year especially, and that's something else. Get off on the wild tangent and chase the rabbit around the room, but something that's kind of, I guess, near and dear to my heart is that if people, when the state's gonna have to come together and figure something out about the used tires, because right now, it's a sore subject, and it's went around the state, and we're fixing, I'm afraid it's gonna be like it was back in the 1990s, where, mountains of used tires were stacked all over the road, because the $3, I know we don't like paying more money, but the $3 disposals that the state mandates for disposal of used tires is not enough anymore. There's no company that can afford to get the tires to dispose of them, so when White River Planning and Development took care of it, they was kind of funded by grants, and, they was able to supplement and keep it going with the grants. Well, now that that's run out, it's on an individual company, and it's a touchy subject, so if somebody in the state's gonna have to step up about that.
And you were asking about competitive bids. I reached out to a couple different companies, and their concern was, I guess in the cities that they do the competitive bids on, there's usually a water company or an electric company that's hooked up with the city that they're able to hook into their system with the billing. So the few that I've talked to said unless we had something like that, they were not going to be able to be competitive.
Yeah, back on the Waste Connection, the waste trash pickup is one of the things that holds it out is Waste Connection actually does all the billing. We don't do any billing here at City Hall. Well, the companies that was contacted, like Mr. Ishmael was saying, I was going to bring that up, is if we had all the information in the City Hall and we took the payments in City Hall and just wrote them a check every month, they wasn't really, they didn't want to have to send out, 3,100 bills to, it was just a logistical nightmare for them to send out 3,100 bills and to keep up with who's paid and who hasn't, so. And we don't have and at this time, I hope in the future we do, but we don't have the technology and the information, the ability just in-house right now to take payments.
The city party has water and sewer they take care of, so it's easy for them to wrap in a trash bill.
Yeah, like
that one bill.
Ashfast's the same way, and I believe Howland's the same way. It's all figured into your bills. But anyway, that's
Sewer.
yeah. And also to let everybody know that I got an email, and I've talked to the department heads, and we're going to be getting everything together. The Witcher Auction Service is going to have another fall government auction, so we're going to gather up our surplus stuff, and if we can, if we get some stuff that's surplus, I'll be coming to you about surplus and some stuff to get it on auction so we can get it off the books. I think that's all I got on the mayor's report.
Mr. Mayor, one other question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any update on the animal control property out there and the conversations with SID?
I talked to Mr. Brent just a minute ago. Right now, the hang up is I haven't had contact with the surveyor yet. I still need to get back in contact with the surveyor and get him out there. I told him that we're probably just going to get right now what we're being interested in is the 2 acres, about 2.02 acres, the property to the left and behind. But I got to get back in contact with the surveyor and see if I can get them going. As soon as I get all of that going, I'll get with Mr. Brent and we'll get it taken care of and see what it's going to take. Into the departmental reports. Just to let everybody know, Mr. Brendan's here. You want to stand up, Mr. Brendan? Miss Megan Mansfield submitted her resignation letter, and her last day was August the 7th. Mr. Brendan has been working out there, Brendan Medlock, he's been working out there, has it been, I was thinking to say, it's been 3 years, hasn't it? So, he's been working out there 3 years, so, he's going to fill the animal control officer position. I asked him, I told him this to make sure you want it. He said yes, so he's going to fill it out there. They're getting stuff taken care of, kind of getting what I understand, kind of getting some stuff cleaned up and switched over, different people do stuff different ways, so get it all switched over and get it going.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brandon. And also, our fire chief, Mr. Cowell, I got a letter here, he sent me a letter, he's Report guy, he's teaching a auto extrication class tonight at the Highland Fire Station. And, it's only 105 degrees outside, so but I'm sold, he's a good guy, and they're doing some good training. We're blessed to have a good instructor in our area, and him to be our fire chiefs. But he wanted me to read the letter. He said, "I'm unable to attend the council meeting tonight due to I am instructing an auto extrication class in Highland for our firefighters, as well as several other area firefighters. The following points I'd like to be stated during our report section for the Cherokee Village Fire Department is, they currently have an opening at the fire department, so if you know somebody that would make a good firefighter and want to serve the citizens in Cherokee, we're taking applications. You can get an application here at City Hall or at the Base Arc Fire Station. We had an employee resign last month, so we're actively looking for a new firefighter. And this is something, you're fighting the firefighters working hard for the city. From July 13th until August 4th, they responded to 4 structure fires. 2 of those fires was unintentional ignitions, and 2 of the fires was found to be incendiary, and one of those investigations is complete, confirming the incendiary nature, and the other is currently under investigation. Also, 2 of those structures were total losses, and two of them will have minimal repairs compared to what they could have been. And then fires, I was out there with them on a couple of them, trying to help them out, because it was some of the days when it was 103 degrees. So, and also just to let everybody know, if you hadn't heard, as of today, or actually it started yesterday, but Sharp and Fulton County are both currently under a burn ban. So the city of Cherokee Village is currently under a burn ban, and any outside burning until we get some measurable rain to get us out of this drought is highly discouraged at this time. So that's all I got on that. Mr. Police Chief, Mr. Monty, you got anything to add to your department report?
Not a whole lot, with the exception of the arson that you were speaking about. We do have a suspect, been interviewed, and charged with probably.
Okay, good deal. Ooh, then we can go. You got anything, Mr. Brennan, to add to the animal control? I know I may have cut you off, I'm sorry. Nothing to add? Alrighty. Well, old business, on the Flathead Bridge, actually, I've spoken, I got a spec sheet. Did it get copied into the council report? I know it's up here. Okay. Anyway, I got a copy of the spec sheet for the bridge panels. Oh, right there. You got a copy of the sheet for the bridge panels that are going to be installed. I talked to Mr. Brent Gill yesterday, because of what they got going on, and of course because of the unusually high heat that we've had going on. He said that they're hoping sometime at either the last week of September, first week of October to do the work. He said when they do the work, he said they'll schedule it for the whole week. He said, I don't know if it'll take the whole week, but he said we'll schedule it for the whole week. I told him just to make sure he gives us, at least 2 weeks, if not more, notice, and that way I can get it out to the citizens and police and fire and sheriff's department, let them know that they will be able to cross the bridge while it's in construction. Our street superintendent, Joey, he's been looking into, what is that, zinc spray? It's a zinc coating. So the parts that we don't have to replace that have exposed metal are going to get scraped and zinc coated, and then get mudded over to meet the Arkansas Department of Transportation specs. I talked to the RDOT bridge inspector this morning. He called me just checking in. So as long as we got plans around the move to get something done, they're okay with everything going on. So he said at this time they didn't foresee any, one of the questions was whether they was going to have to weight restrict the bridge before it was repaired. But he told me at this time, as long as we got something in the plans to get the bridge repaired, they didn't foresee a weight restriction having to go on it unless we went into next year and they had to inspect it again. But So right now we're moving forward. Old business number 2, we'll cut everybody off on that one.
Was there anything on the sewer pipe on the bridge section?
Yeah, I haven't got anything from the sewer, St. Joseph's Glen yet, but I do know that him and Mr. Gill has talked, and they said they have a plan worked out and everything will be okay. So to circle back to the interest rate, old business number 2, I really don't know how that got stuck on old business, but old business number 2, we've been talking about CDs for a while. Well, First Community Bank, I've talked to First Community Bank and also FNBC, and First Community Bank offered, it's 4.05, isn't it, Miss Penny?
Yes.
On CD, they offered CDs for 4.05, and I think FNBC was 3. I don't have it down there, but anyway, that was somewhat higher. That was 4.05, and so what we were talking about doing was taking, which we had the 502, the 502,000 that's in the general, it's in the general fund reserve, and split 150,000 into a 3-month CD and another 150,000 into a 6-month CD, which would be 300,000 all in, but have one mature at 3 months and one mature at 6 months. And then maybe, whoever the next mayor and next council, whatever, they could maybe just keep that on a rotating schedule. As long as they're going to offer 4.05, right now we're only, what was it, Mr. Heather, 2.5? Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, 2.4, and then we can get 4.05. So as long as we can get 4.05, we keep the money rolling and get a little more interest off of that, it'll be the reserve account with the ending number 9706. So, and also I talked to Mr. Phil Holtzhauser out there, and he said that, I told him barring any natural disaster, I just couldn't see us, needing it just immediately, and he said, the penalty would only be 1 month's interest. He said to draw it out, he said they can have it back within within 72 hours they can have everything back, and it's just a penalty with 1 month's interest. So to make it official for First Community Bank, we have to have a motion and vote on it.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Thompson to transfer 150,000, or transfer money from the reserve account ending in 9706, $150,000 into a 3-month CD and $150,000 into a 6-month CD, seconded by Mr. Martin. All in favor, it's voice vote, please, Miss Penny.
Harrison,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, thank you all, because that'll help out quite a bit, and then new business number 1 is special use permit. Motion, we can approve them in one vote. It'll be 2026-10 is the Oktoberfest and Fall Farmers Market, October 3rd, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Cherokee Village Town Center. And also 2026-11 is the Christmas in the Village, December 5th, 2026, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. in the Town Center.
Question.
Yes.
I saw on the applications the insurance wasn't checked. We're not worried about insurance anymore, or?
Ms. Penny?
Both of those have already been submitted from a previous one. It just got me from.
Okay. Make a motion we approve both special use permits. 2026-10 and 2026-11.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Ishmael to approve special use permits 2026-10, 2026-11. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you all. It's kind of hard to think about. We're already talking about Oktoberfest and Christmas, and guess we are in the last half of the year. All righty, new business number 2, Mr. Joey, Mr. Street Superintendent, to the podium. This is, just a little background on what's going on. I know we'd asked back last year during budgeting purpose, when we was doing the budgeting, we talked about a couple of tractors and maybe a dump truck. Well, the old international dump truck, which is a 98, I don't remember, it's
97 or 98.
97 or 98 model, it finally decided it was done. It dropped an injector, so anyway, and which now, me and the street superintendents talked quite a bit. I mean, it's got a lot of frame, frame jacking is what I've always, it's called, but rust. It's got a lot of rust in the frame and stuff, so. A lot of rust. But we've kind of figured that the cost of repairs kind of outweighs the good we'd probably get out of it, so he went and me and him both been doing some research, and he found a dump truck, which is kind of amazing, because I think we only found two from Springfield, Missouri to Little Rock, like we was looking for, a single axle truck with automatic transmission. Yes, sir. Yes, the sun shining on it. Okay. They have this one on the lot completed. It's I was talking to Miss Heather, I think it was earlier, that asked about it, but it is a 2018 Kenworth. It's a used chassis, but they've went through the chassis. It's got a pack car motor on it. It's got 108,000 miles on the chassis. It's a 33,000 GV. No, actually, it's a 26,000 GVW truck. And like I said, it's automatic transmission, so you don't have to, we had to do a clutch repair on the other one, so.
And we're not going to plow it.
Yes, no, it will not be a plow truck. We got the little trucks set up for plowing, so that's what we use for it. Yeah, I couldn't imagine after plowing snow around last year with the guys and trying to help them out to keep them caught up on the snow plow and the difficulty I had in a one-ton truck. I couldn't imagine back in the old days when they did it in dump trucks with power turbines. That'd been awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah. I don't know, anybody got any questions, which the money would be the street money markets where the money would come from. But it's, but right now they don't have the Novell 9000 Ford, which is in the Kenworth they're using right now. The Kenworth it's in decent shape, but it's a standard shift truck, so it's, I know I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm in that age that, I can drive standard shift, but a lot of the new people, a lot of the newer people we hire don't drive standard shifts.
Like to burn clutches.
Yeah, we put up 2 clutches in the other truck in 4 years.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Thompson, seconded by Mr. Martin to approve the purchase of the
2018.
the 2018. Do we need to, can we set it for, because I don't know if there'll be any extras on it. The only thing extra we'd have to add to it's electric brakes in
Does it have hydraulic brakes now?
it's air brakes.
Or air brakes now?
Electric brakes for towing.
69.5.
69.5 for the truck as it sets, but we'll have to put a tow hitch and electric brakes on it.
What about, what cost would that be, additional cost?
Yeah, it shouldn't be more than $1,000. And if it is, we'll do it ourselves. We got a shop and a couple of mechanics, so if it's more than that, we can do it ourselves.
You want to amend your motion?
I'll amend my motion to include up to $2,000 for any additional brakes or
For the tow package.
required expenses.
Okay, so 71.5.
And I still second it.
Motion by Mr. Thompson, seconded by Mr. Martin to approve up to $71,500 to purchase the 2018 Kenworth T370 from Steve England's Truck Sales in Searcy, Arkansas.
Mayor, Where, what,
No, street money market. Roll call, please. And no more discussion.
Thompson.
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Ishmael,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes,
motion passed.
Alrighty.
congratulations.
Thank you all for that. That'll be a welcome asset, because. Alrighty. So,
I make a motion, we go into executive session for personnel.
not personal.
I said personnel.
There you go.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Ms. Harrison to go into executive session for personnel. We'll be back shortly. That's All righty, we're back in session. No decision reached at this time. Anybody, before we do this, anybody got anything? All righty, Miss Sherry, is it Lambers? Lambers, okay. Go ahead, just, state your name and address just for the record and what you got.
Well, I'm Sherry Lammers, and I live at 11 Tossie, and I'm here to, on behalf of Leanne Oles, which is my neighbor. And she lives approximately 2.5 hours away tonight, so she's unable to attend. So if I could read what she's asked me to read, that's possible.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to begin, let me get this. I want to begin by asking that Leanne is not asking the city to treat anyone unfairly. She is asking for consistent enforcement of the city's own ordinances and for a clear understanding of what is happening next. We have now reviewed the city's records concerning 7 Calcan Trace. The city's records show that the building permit number 2318 was issued August 3rd of 2021. The permit ultimately expired, and the city's records currently identified its statute as expired. We also found ordinances in 2008 to 2003, which establishes the specific requirements for substantial progress on new construction. It provides deadlines for inspections and completions and addresses what happens when a building permit expires. The city's records also show that the property was the subject of a notice of violation dated October 27, 2025. That notice stated that the permit had expired and addressed the lack of progress and the condition of the property. Most importantly, on February 23rd of 2026, the city's Office of Planning and Zoning sent the property owner a letter describing the property as an unsafe property, a safety hazard, and a public nuisance. The letter gave the owner 30 days to clean up the property and make the residents habitable or remove the structure, and it warned that further proceedings could result in the removal of the structure and a lien. That brings us to this question tonight. What action has occurred since February 23 of that notice and the expiration of that 30-day period? Has the property been re-inspected? Has the owner complied with the city's requirements? Has a valid building permit been issued or approved? If not, what enforcement step is the city taking now, and what is the timeline? We understand that the city must follow due process. We are not asking the city council to skip this process. We are asking that the process is moved forward. The city's own ordinances provide procedures for unsafe buildings and property nuisances, including a public hearing, a resolution regarding abatement, and ultimately removal and a lien when the legal requirements are met. Leanne appreciates the city's attention to this matter. She is simply asking for accountability consistently and a clear answer to what happens next.
Can you leave that with me and I can get the answers to them questions?
So nothing.
Oh, is that okay?
She sent everybody a letter.
Okay, is that the letter? Okay.
That's the letter that she sent, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get the answers to the questions.
Everybody got an email, yes, with photos.
Okay.
And I believe there's the same photos that I took and gave to you guys on the December meeting. Nothing has changed.
I know it's been a particularly trying, yes. But, I'll get your answers to you. Get her, Miss Leanne, get them out there, I don't know. I'm still trying to make contact with a couple of people, and, so.
Well, thank you for your time.
We're still working on it, it's just, like I've said, the rules of progress move slow and mired in the muck of politics. But, we'll see, I'll get the answers to them and I'll let everybody know.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Richard Broadway?
Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Broadway. I live at 65 on the Dog over in Santa Fe Forest. And I'm here to talk about some of the road conditions. I feel like my neighborhood's been kind of neglected since I've been here. I've been here 14 years. There's not been one road that has been touched in my neighborhood in 14 years. They come in there and put a little coal mix, but that's it. And, I've got one of the nicest places in the neighborhood. I try to keep my yard up and I clean the ditches up and I take the rocks and go down and put in the road where the road hadn't been maintained. Some of the roads is 10 inches deep where I'm putting in rocks, you know. But, most of the time, my neighborhood is neglected, even in the snow, you know, you can't get a plow down through there or nothing, but, and I live in the flat, I can get in and out, but still it's kind of neglected. I call it the hood. You need your gun when you come over there. Anybody got a weapon can ride through there and look. You know, if you ain't got a weapon, stay out of there. But I feel like, the little Bobcat, they used to have a guy on the Bobcat that come through and done the ditches and stuff, and he done a pretty good job. But you can hire 3 people at $10 an hour and can't get nothing done. You hire one man that knows what he's doing, put him on that machine, $20 an hour, and he'll get something done, I guarantee you. You can drop that machine off over there and clean them ditches out, just like these guys coming down through here with this brushwork. You take a Bobcat and put in these ditches and let a man stay busy and he'll get it done. Go from one neighborhood to the next. Also, the next thing I want to talk about is the trash. The neighborhood, my neighborhood is a wreck. Just ride over there and look with your weapon. Nobody can throw nothing away. Like you're talking about, nobody can dump refrigerators, anything like that. We need to get with Waste Industries or Waste Connections and maybe put in a transfer station, a community transfer station where people could drop off their ice boxes. Won't nobody clean up because they ain't got no place to put it. Drop off the ice boxes, you put them in a dumpster, you haul them to the scrap. Ice boxes, washing machines, any kind of scrap metal, all that stuff can be recycled. You can put a pre-crusher in. Anybody don't know what a pre-crusher is? It's a big old machine. You can back a roll-off truck up to it. You can dump that roll-off in that hopper, that pre-crusher, that door comes down, and crush it. It'll crush that garbage, the door comes up. It'll take 4 roll-off dumpsters, and you can put 4 roll-off dumpsters in the one with that pre-crusher. And people could bring their doors, their garbage out of the yard, they can put it in the pre-crusher, crush it, goes in the dumpster. You have a yard truck there to swap the cans out. When the can gets full, you haul it to the dump. You know, Waste Industries can put in a pre-crusher. You can hire somebody to run the transfer station. All you need is a man to run it, and a man to close it, and a man to haul the dumpster. You know, 5 days a week, everybody cleans up their yard. You can you know, get a whole lot done with just a little bit of effort, you know. And that's about all I got to say. I got a lot of ideas. I've been around and done a lot of jobs, and I know how to clean up stuff like you was talking about the landfill. It'll also help the landfill because people goes out there and gets killed. Drivers get killed, operators get killed, residents get killed when they go to the landfill and do something stupid. If you put in a transfer station, even if you put it in at the front of the landfill, nobody has to go back there and dump with the little stuff. It keeps a lot of people out of the landfill, is what I'm trying to say. And it helps the operators in the landfill because they ain't got to watch out for idiots, you know. It'll just help the whole community, you know, with some kind of little transfer station where people could take their trash and clean up their yards. If you just come to my neighborhood and look, and you'll see. And you take a Bobcat with a little grapple on it, and you could run that thing around, and I could clean up this whole room, all these chairs, everything, in just 10 minutes. It'll grab everything, you know. You just crush it and put it in the dumpster. you have a man running around and he can clean up his lot. You know, as he cleans up the ditches. You clean up the ditches, you got a little dump truck, you just grab it, load it on the dump truck, clean his lots up, you know? And, it costs the city a little money to dump it, but, something's gotta be done, you know? Also the grass. I measured the grass 50 inches tall in my neighborhood, you know? But anyway, I live in the hood. So if y'all could work on something with waste industry, about a transfer station, that would make a big difference in this place, you know? Just that.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
much, Mr. Broadway, appreciate it.
Ready?
I'm so done, I want to move to the city, when I heard the country was going to war. Where'd it go? No, it's not my phone.
Are you ready?
Anything from the council?
No, I'm good.
Make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, second by Mr. Ishmael to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, Joey.
Another day. Take care.
They really are. That little back to school picture. Your oldest.
Okay, I'll send him an email. We'll try to shoot. Maybe.